We'll see how it goes.
We have an announcement for our playoff competitors, if they could all make their way to the Jinan A room. So please could our 12 finalists make their way over to Jinan A.
We got it sorted out. It'll be a thing of beauty. We've discussed who that's every booth needs the third name. That's yeah, absolutely. I decided to go completely. However, I know that's not an option. Yeah, introduce yourself at the start. I'm David. I'm also everything that did.
いや、なんで。
They've said that they have to make groups. So.
Every row, every color. With zeros and fours. That's that one. Probably not the last time we call. Yeah. That's literally what happens. I should be sorry. One to the right, it's two.
Neil has watched the other one. This puzzle is pretty easy. Yes, brother.
Look at the side, that's where there's only one target. All right, then we start with Perfect. Also, you can try to do yeah, even if you just give us the numbers, we try.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, if we have to look at it, yeah, we can have a vote.
That's what I've been doing all day.
Like to see the picture.
Testing. Testing.
No excuse.
That's setting the bar low in the wild card round. That's a good point.
I think they're not in the room there. We're about to start our coverage of the playoffs of the 2022 edition of the World Sudoku Championship.
And for better or for worse, they've given us a microphone. My name's Dave Baines from Canada. Happy to be supporting Tom. Mostly on the technical side, but I will be providing the amateur of this puzzle. I will be the one asking what happened, more or less, and Tom will be explaining.
Or something like that. So we're just waiting for the competitors to gather. The playoff format this year will comprise of four parts. In each of the 4 parts, exactly one of 4 competitors will progress. So in the first part, we have our 10th to 12th place finishers, as well as our lucky wildcard, Jan Novotny, battling it out. The winner of this round will go through to the second part of the playoffs to join ranks 7 through 9. 4 of them will battle out with the winner coming through to play in the third part, which will feature ranks 4 to 6 joining them, before finally, in this penultimate duel of our remarkable Sudoku silvers, they'll join our ranks 1, 2, and 3. But more on that as the evening progresses. Our first matchup will feature 3 puzzles. The puzzles have been selected by our competitors.
Yeah, I can say that the first puzzle they'll be doing is a fortress that was chosen by Nicola. The second will be an anti-knight chosen by Jan. And the third will be an integral. Oh, wonderful. Chosen by Misha. And Jan will be in the I'm just happy to be there portion. Jan Novotny, I should mention, is 13th and not get to choose a puzzle for this round. Jan Zaninia also will choose that.
I would say this is the round, perhaps, in terms of surname pronunciation that I'm least looking forward to. So for completeness, our head seed is Nikola Zidanovic of Serbia. We've got Jan Sparina of Czech Republic. We've got Sinchai from Thailand. I'm not even going to try Sinchai's. Apologies. And then we have our wild card, Jan Novotny, making up.
A little tougher on this side. I would have made fun of the announcer for taking the easy way out earlier, but now, having a look at it and being up here, absolutely. So what do we have to look forward to in the fourth?
That's a good question. So the fortress has been prepared by author Peter Michi. Again, apologies for the pronunciation. Lihi, thank you. Heckling is more than welcome, especially when we get it wrong. After the fortress, we have anti-knight again. We should also mention the time limits. So this is not quite the same as the wild card. Our competitors will be solving 3 puzzles. They'll need to get all 3 of those correct in the fastest time. and they have a time limit of 21 minutes to get through all of those 3 puzzles. As we progress through the playoffs get slightly longer, there'll be more puzzles on offer, slightly longer to get through. We will come to that as and when the playoffs start progressing. It looks like we've got everyone just about getting comfortable in our seats. We have 21 minutes on the clock.
And being a little less familiar with all the competitors, obviously our wildcard entry again, Botany in the upper left corner. Can you tell us where the other 3 are seated?
So we have Sinjai there, bottom left in the room. We will confirm where they will appear on the screens when they start solving. Nicola up there is to the top right of the room, and towards the front of the room on the right hand side, and the other Jan. So it looks like we've got various support animals on show. Or at least one.
A little bit of clarification as I'm looking at the round has started for a couple of competitors. I didn't see it in the rule book, but I'm going to assume there's a little bit of a time adjustment for each of the competitors that finish according to their points. You have well prepared the point values for each of the competitors in this round.
Yes, so these are the rankings based on the 12 rounds that we've all been battling through over the last couple of days. Nikola Ivanovic was only 15 points, so barely a puzzle. Yeah, so this both started. Slightly behind them was Sinchai, so we had 1800, 1785, Sinchai on 1630, so about 100 points, 150 points back. And Jan Novotny, I believe, is taking the 13 seed points. So here we go, we've got our overview here.
So on the camera side of things, we have say Sinchai on. Oh wait, you're gonna have to tell me on your bottom left or your bottom right. We have it one of each way. 2 screens. And you're not going to tell me.
So it looks like we've got Sinchai, Nikolai, and Jan going there. Jan Shmarina, I should say. Jan Novotny putting his pen. Can't wait to get started, but he's going to have to wait.
So what are we looking at in a fourth? To help those of us, again, I'm not playing dumb here. I really would like to know what we're looking at.
So if we look at Fortress, you can see on the paper there we've got some shaded cells. And the shaded cells form the fortress. What does that mean? That means the bigger numbers have to go in the fortress, and the unshaded cells next to the shaded cells have to be strictly less than. So we need some good comparative skills here. Good places to get started on this are long regions of shaded cells, where obviously you have to put in a lot of numbers. That's going to restrict how you start placing numbers. I think if we go to camera 1 there. We're still trying to work out who camera 1 is. I think this might be.
It certainly is.
It's one of Victoria, but we can kind of see the fortress here. So in the grid itself, we have certainly in row 3 a long kind of stretch of fortress, and also kind of a hump at the bottom 3 rows. So I can't quite make out if there's a particular design in the fortress going on. We think the solvers will generally be looking to rule out the high numbers. The high numbers are obviously good candidates to go into the fortress. Numbers like 9, 8, and 7. Whereas lower numbers, such as 1, 2, and 3, may be more likely to go in the uncleared cells. Of course, they'll need to work this out as they go. So we can see all of our competitors have started.
Sinjai has a good luck charm, perhaps donated by a teammate from a human.
Yeah, he's keeping close watch over the fortress there. We'll see if he can bring him up. Anyone knows the name of the dog? Who knows the name of the dog? Please let us know. So just a reminder, this is the first of 3 puzzles. Four minutes in, I guess the competitors will be looking to try and get through these in less than 7 minutes on average, 21 minutes being the time limit.
And to answer your question on the checking when a playoff competitor completes, raise their hand to indicate to a judge to enter the submission period. The card puzzle will then be checked over in the next minutes. Yes, there is a 1 minute period for the check.
So I made that slightly less than 21 minutes. I guess if they want to get through all 3 puzzles, there'll be checking period after puzzle 1, checking period after puzzle 2. So that's 19 minutes of solving time. So we're a little way into the round, and we have our first submission. That looks like it's Nikola Zivanovic. He started off slightly ahead of Jan Zarina, so it's relatively well advanced. About to hand in, maybe. Early days, of course, it's just puzzle 1 of 3. Next up will be anti-knights.
So I think you can say that Nikola held serve there on the court. It was his selection.
We should also mention on the selection that the puzzles have been selected in reverse order. So the top 3 seeds, looks like Jan has just handed in there as well. So he's not too far behind Nikola. These 2 look like the early pace. But to continue the previous thought, the finalists will have the first pick, then the sort of seeds 4 to 6 will then have a pick, and then seeds 7 through 9 will have a pick. So these may not exactly be the competitors' favoured choices, but they'll be the favoured of the ones which were over. So it looks like Nikola has successfully completed that, and he's on to the second puzzle, anti-knights. So we've seen a couple of these. Looks like it might be another tricky one. If we just have a look in at Nikola's screen there, we can see that the grid is sparsely populated and no one is there. That's what I mean, there are no given digit ones. So a little bit of hard work to start making some placements. I guess you'll be trying to make what you can number by number. I guess by the time you get to start putting in some ones, you'll be feeling more confident you're getting on through the grid.
So 2 competitors now underway on the anti-knight. The Jan Zarina, this was his selection. So he'll be looking to catch up and maybe go in even to the third. Yep, functional.
So yeah, as Dave was saying, Jan is now on his favourite territory with the anti-knight. Let's see if it proves to be a good pick for him. Meanwhile, our wild card, Jan Novotny, looks like he might have overtaken Sinchai here. He's got his second pencil out, so maybe he's just looking to force it over the line. Sinchai's having a look at a long, hard stare at his grid. But I think at this stage, both of these two competitors are behind, and they're going to need a scintillating solve on the anti-guard to catch up. Well, mind you, having said that, Jan Novotny starting with a bit of a handicap, has overtaken Sinchai. He's got a bit more to make up to catch up to the other two, but it's a good start. Are we going to be in for a wild ride with our wild card, Dave?
I would not believe that. Impressive performance throughout those rounds. Looking at this one, it does appear that Nicola is progressing well into the anti-night. As you commented earlier, it's one of those puzzles that's slow to start, quick to finish. He's got just a couple seconds now in the bottom quad, in the bottom step there, but he should be able to clean up. However, I can tell that stutter that you get when you think you're in the finishing area and all of a sudden take a long hard look. That's not the case.
So not always a bad sign. Doesn't hurt just to pause a little bit, reflect, regather. There's a few notes to make some sense of. Sometimes when you've got a lot of notes, a little bit of seeing the trees. But he's getting there. We'll just move over.
If we go back to the there, it looks like, unfortunately, there's been a puzzle return.
Oh,
to the end here. He's back to take another pass at that. That's going to be.
Looks difficult because as we saw, our wild card was using, he got out the second pencil. Perhaps we had a bit of a guess in play.
And the puzzle returned as well to Sinchai.
This is bad news for our 12th seed Sinchai and our wild card Jan Novotny.
No, and he's passed once again.
Okay.
Interesting. We'll have to get the post-game commentary on what happened.
Still at this stage, with Sinchai just starting and Jan Verena and Nicola, the two Zeds, the cheers for Zeds. Thank you, Neil Zussman. They're ahead on the antidote. I think they'll be turning in shortly.
It does look like it is evened up. Little concern there for Nicola, who did not pick the last two numbers in. Could be just a tricky finish to this one, or it could be a sign of more serious night.
I don't think it'll be the first time today we've had trouble with the antidotes.
All four competitors now on the anti-night. Taking we're about midway through the round. So long as Nicola and Jan and out, there's our first submission. I believe, yep. That Jan Verena has committed the anti-night. So
A little bit of that turnout there. He's overturned the slim advantage Nicola had going into the sim. He's made full use of his favourite puzzle. He's taken the lead. Or taken the provisional lead. I guess we still have to see which puzzle comes back. Will it be the same one, or will it be a third puzzle?
the integral Sudoku chosen by Sinchai.
Just make sure we see if it turns up. The integral, as far as I can tell, is a novel idea for this year's championship. I think it featured in the advanced math round. So, you need to know your calculus. or at least follow the formula. Excellent.
And there it is, passing in here. We will notice that that's a larger number than we've seen on the samples or the puzzle for earlier today.
Yeah, we've got a digit sample grid. So I guess one thing to look is there's a bit of a guinea there with the orange cell. The integral adding to 0, meaning the two integrands having to both be the same digits. Let's see how long it takes to stop that. On the other hand, we have a large value of 88 for the pink integral, mark C. Meanwhile, the other three are still going on the antinodes.
Nicola, again, with just a few cells left, he doesn't seem to be overly confident on finishing up there. Hopefully that gets him on to the next puzzle. There, and yeah, he's submitting it.
So I think in contrast with the competition integral puzzle that we saw earlier today, there might be a little bit more thinking for the competitors to do. I don't know how well prepared people are with their notes, whether they can just write in the values, but there might be a bit more mental arithmetic. Yeah. 88 is certainly a very large number, Dave.
I'd like to thank you for saying this is more complicated than one of the few puzzles I solved today. Unnecessary.
You did a great job, Dave. So it looks like Nicola has handed in the antinodes. We'll see if he can catch up, but I think at this stage Jan has an advantage of a couple of minutes, and he looks like he's making some good progress. So for my money, I think we have our favourites to join the second stage of the playoffs. Certainly looks like he's filled in all the coloured cells, meaning he's done his integration. And so it's going to reduce to classic Sudoku solving skills.
Interesting, though, that he still has the two candidates in the there. Hasn't finalized that, whether he actually needed to do the integral or not, or if he's just left it that way. But yeah, coming to a close here now. Third of the three puzzles that he would need to advance to the next round. And it's submitted. And if correct, that will end this round.
There we go. That's Jan Zarina of Czech Republic submitting. He had a little bit of a deficit to Nicola going into the second puzzle. He's overcome that. Now it looks like he's made his way through to the second stage of the playoffs.
Just a hair under 3 minutes for that integral. That's a little better than maybe I did on that.
Yeah. Maybe you're doing yourself a disservice.
Nope.
So I guess this looks like the end of the road for. Oh well, since I started on the integral as well.
I have not. No, I'm looking at the room right now, and oh, there it is. The thumbs up. It's just been thumbs up. We'll go to the room view now. A couple of moments behind. But no, I can confirm that the other puzzlers have stopped now, and the round is complete.
Just waiting for our screen to catch up. Looks like it's just frozen there, but I think to confirm, the winner of the first part of the WSC playoffs is Jan Zarina of Czech Republic. His prize? He gets to do it all over again. So we'll just. Whilst we're kind of waiting on that, we'll sort of introduce the second of our playoffs. So this will feature ranks 7 through 9. In 7th place, we have Jakub Hatsdira of Czech Republic. Apologies if I've mispronounced that.
Razvira.
Zwierzyna. The challenge.
And I can tell you that Jakub had the first selection of the contestants in this round and chose the sequence top line. That's one of the puzzles that's going to be done, the one that's going to be done first.
That might be a nice quick one, but we'll move on to that in a second. Introduce our second player for this section, which is Ken Ender. Interestingly enough, in the final standings, a mere 10 points separated rounds 7 and 8, so very close. They'll be starting pretty much at the same time.
Fantastic, both Sudoku and puzzler. And so we're going to pass it to the audience. Any guesses as to which puzzle the puzzler would have chosen from the list of Sudoku? Page 61 in your guide. Follow along, please.
I'll keep up. He's gone for, we can tell you, the skyscrapers. Maybe that's going to be a good one. Our third playoff finalist in ninth place, 15 points behind Ken, is Thomas Snyder of the USA. Of course, three-time world champion. Of course, I should mention Ken is one-time, he's the reigning world champion.
And Thomas chose the anti-diagonal as the third puzzle. This group will be doing, once again, 3 puzzles, 21 minutes.
Three selections there. Jan Svajina will not have had a pick. He'll be happy to play along and see if he can cause an upset. These rounds actually, so we went through the scores. We had 1890, 1880, 1865. Jan in Milan scored 1785, so very, very little separating these competitors. So pretty much a straight shootout here. Not too much in the way of time advantage. We'll see how the puzzle selection works out.
So are there any predictions from you, Tom, this round?
I think this one's too close to call. We'll have a look at the puzzles. Perhaps the skyscrapers might make or break things. I think the top part is likely to be a quick one. It's quite constrained, finding that those paths 1 through 9, up and down, down and up. And otherwise, it's very much like a classic Sudoku, so I'm expecting fast times there. Skyscrapers can prove to be a bit more problematic. I guess we'll see if our competitors see it. Might provide a decisive advantage going into the final one, which is anti-diagonal, which we'll see when we get there. So, it looks like they're in the room and they're just setting up. Not too long to go now. And yeah, as we expected, pretty much starting simultaneously. Not much points separating the 4 of them.
And we'll zoom in on one of the. Well, I believe that's Thomas.
That's Thomas Snyder of the USA.
And as a reminder, how does the sequence shot box work?
So we're looking for a path, sort of vertically or diagonally vertically from top to bottom, spelling out sequence 987654 through to. You can see, helpfully, Thomas is circling the path there. He's found the 5, which is a good break into the puzzle, and he's got an 8. So that's one of the sequences. Of course, we'll need to do it the other direction as well.
We'll jump over to camera 3. I believe that's Ken.
I think that's Ken as well, yeah.
Who has completed.
Looks like he's got the top to bottom sequence in there. So that's 987. And how's he going? It looks like he's got. Has he got both in? No, not quite. He's got the descending. He's not got the ascending. But he's making some pretty quick work with this. Possibly venturing out into a bit of a lead. I think he's got a bit of advantage there over both Thomas and Jakob.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Ken can take the lead into his choice of puzzles and skyscrapers, he's going to be tough to beat.
So it looks like our 4th finalist is up and running on the sequence top box. That sounds like something you might send you spam email, really. It's made an appearance here. Again, I think a novel variation for this year's championship. Yes, and we have a very quick hand in there from Ken Endo. He has annihilated that puzzle, and he has taken a good lead there over Thomas and Jakob, who are both roughly in a similar position. As we were saying, once you've got the sequence in play, that pretty much reduces the puzzle to a classic. At this end of the table, these boys will have a classic for breakfast all week long. I remind any hecklers to speak up so we can hear you.
And it's onto the skyscraper for Ken, so he's going to have more than a minute lead going into puzzle number 2.
So as we can see with the skyscraper, you don't know what's in this, but we've got all the skyscraper clues around the edge of the grid. We can see Ken methodically marking off the clues that he's used up. It looks like he's used up quite a few of them already. Good progress. There's also quite a few given numbers in the skyscraper. So again, this looks like, whilst you do get some skyscrapers which will take competitors a long time, it doesn't look like this is going to be the case for Ken. You got anyone else on the skyscrapers here?
No, it does look that Jakob finished the sequence. And Thomas as well. Well, but a 2 minute disadvantage. And an excellent solve from Nicola, who catches up. Yep, sorry. So all 3 of them get their first submission back.
I think there's a lot of catching up to do to get back on level par with Ken. We have an excellent first solve. Oh, he's just slowed down a little bit here. We can see on his grid that there aren't so many clues left that he's got to use information. I guess 5 in column 7 is looking quite juicy there. Not quite going for it. I guess column 4 is also perhaps somewhere to be looking at. Okay, we've got.
So yeah, that the other competitors now received round 2, so all successful submissions. And they're on to the skyscraper as well.
A little bit of catching up to do. We'll see what they can manage. This, of course, being Ken's pick, so he's going to hope that it works out okay for him. Ken's just having a bit of a think. This might allow the other competitors to catch up to him. Certainly, a lot of activity in the other grids. Will they hit the same sticking points that Ken has? So I guess not much progress since we last saw.
And this is where the amateur just jumps in and probably realizes he doesn't have a good grasp. But coming from the right in row 3, what do you think he needs to do to make sure that's limited to 3? I don't think he can put in small enough.
Looks like he might want a 7 there, Dave. Well spotted.
I do not have the answer in front of me. Also, I finished 127. This will be the last time I comment on any of these songs.
Oh, I hope not. I really hope not. I think when he does see that 7, just there at the end of the third row, might be looking at finishing. How are the others getting on, Dave?
I don't get to watch him put the 7 in. It does seem that they've reached the previous hitting point 10 with that.
Yeah, not a lot of movement. So we'll just go back to 10.
A little bit of negative movement from Thomas. And it does look like Ken is on the verge.
Well, it's got your 7 there, Dave. Reigning world champion has scored up.
Outstanding.
There we go. Ken has got through the second of the puzzles, the skyscrapers, maintaining advantage.
And I think he will have still probably at least that 2-minute advantage, assuming that comes back clean. Good progress here from Jakob.
Next up, for Ken, assuming this comes back okay. Bit of movement here, maybe. Will be anti-diagonal. So for all of you people out there not in favour of diagonal Sudoku, maybe you prefer anti-diagonal.
And for those that finished outside the top 100, what exactly are you looking at when you come out of anti-diagonal?
Yeah, we see Ken starting there. So on an anti-diagonal, I guess you're looking for each of the diagonals, exactly 3 digits on each. They're repeated across the boxes. So I guess in the top left, bottom right diagonal, we've got 1, 2, 5 straight away. Ken spotted that. And then again on the other diagonal, we have Ken's also worked out.
Just while you're looking at that, I can tell you that Jakob had a 5.
The 5, so we've got 3, 4, 5 on the diagonal. So it looks like actually having got most of the diagonals in play, this one again very quickly reduced down to classic Sudoku solving sequence. And with that in mind, I am expecting Ken probably to maintain this if he can hold it together.
Yeah, it absolutely looks like he's fairly comfortable now at this point. None of the other competitors haven't started this puzzle yet, so it could be a bit of a surprise. But we're off with Jakob.
So Jakob and Jan pretty much level pegging going into this puzzle at the start of this playoff. Ken has opened up a little bit of a lead, and it looks like he's nearly there, but
Oh, he's giving us some drama. We appreciate that. On the eraser for oneself.
Just the last few digits to fill in now. I think it's just
And there it is.
There it is. So, we'll give it a minute, see if he's right. He's looking calm. I think this might be all under control, Dave.
Must say, excellent start here for Jakob in this puzzle. He's not going to finish that much behind. Really good effort.
Just see. The other two, Thomas and Jan still on the skyscrapers. Oh, Thomas is handing in. I think we have the confirmation.
It does look that way, yeah. Yeah, Ken's standing up now in the room, I can tell you. We'll give one more try to the room cam. It's been a little laggy on us. Currently 14 minutes lag. We'll see if we can jump that up a little bit. No, still frozen there on that one, but yes, I can confirm that the round is over and Ken Endo of Japan is moved on.
Congratulations, Ken Endo of Japan! There we go. He's our current reigning world champion, and he's showing us just why. He'll be there looking to put up a good fight in the third of our playoffs. So we move up to 4 puzzles. Maybe there's a bit more time for him to overcome the deficits, and there will be a deficit. We have our 4th seed in this playoff, who will be joining us shortly. That will be Jakub Ondrusek of the Czech Republic. He finished the first 12 rounds with a score of 2,220, which is a mere 10 points of 5th place. Jan Morawski of Poland. I'm trying. And in 6th place, we have Hideaki Joe, who is perhaps 150 points behind in 2,075 points. So have a bit of a deficit between those two, with Ken Endo even more of a deficit. So perhaps this will be a straight shootout between Jakub and Jan. But we will see whether our captain solvers, Hideaki and Ken, can catch them up. So, which are the puzzles they will be attempting to catch up on, Dave?
I do know the puzzles, I do know who selected them, but the order seems a little bit out from the guide, so I apologize if this is not the order that they come out in. Because there is one more puzzle in this round, the three competitors at 4, 5, and 6 seed, the 4 seed, Jakub does get to choose 2 puzzles this round. Jakub has chosen the crop key and the outside. You can say that Jan has chosen the irregular and Hideaki the consecutive sequence. So 4 puzzles, 28 minutes for the upcoming penultimate round.
Yeah, okay. Should I both again? I'm screaming. Oh, there's half. Yeah, looks like he's actually fighting it. You can edit, you know, There you go.
So,
What's the ball started?
So we can see a little bit of activity in the room. We've got our organisers who've done a wonderful job all throughout the last couple of days. They're just setting up. Competitors are waiting the puzzles that they'll be facing. Taking last few couple of moments to mentally prepare themselves, or even try and work out where they're sitting.
So looking at the puzzle selection for this round, does anything stand out to you?
So I think possibly one to watch here, in whichever order comes out, might be the irregular. I think we have some solvers here who might be particularly good on that. Irregular being a type that can hold some people up, but others perhaps can gain a decisive advantage. Certainly have memories of 12 years ago in Philadelphia, Jan, who I think he won that year, had an exceptional solve on the irregular, solving it in less than a couple of minutes when everyone else was way behind. That was the puzzle we won in the championships. Perhaps that's why he's gone for irregular as his pick. We'll see if that works out for him. So we're just getting set up. Competitors seated. Last few preparations on the clicking of pencils. We think Jakob and Jan will be starting pretty much at the same time, separated as they were by just the 10 points in the general classification. Those 10 points could prove crucial though, with Jakob getting 2 picks. And they're away.
Jakob and Jan, starting with, I'll zoom in there to see which.
I think that looks like a consecutive sequence.
Okay. Consecutive sequence is the first one that they're doing this round.
Yeah. Consecutive sequence being Hideaki's pick. So I guess the thing with these is similar to some of the other puzzles we've seen. Like once we get those consecutive sequences picked out, they're going to be pretty quick to fill in. It's quite easy to go from one number to the next number. And from there, it'll be a reduction to classic Sudoku solving skills. Now, I'm not sure I want to pick who's quicker out of Jan and Jakob here. So this could be anyone's game here for the first puzzle.
The first progress there now on that lower right sequence from Jakob. It'd be interesting to see if Hideaki can make up the difference on his choice of puzzle. And now he is underway. We'll still be monitoring again.
So our first two competitors haven't yet filled it in. I guess this might be a moment where competitors might steal a march with a moment of inspiration to get one of these sequences filled out.
Now, unlike the UK and the Canadian teams, who it's every man for himself, man, woman in particular, I'm wondering if Hideaki gave any thought to the fact that Ken might be in this round when he chose the puzzle stuff.
That's an interesting thought. I mean, I suppose if you're Japanese in the playoffs, it's not reasonable to expect there might be more Japanese in the playoffs. We're here looking at Jan here. It looks like he's got some of the sequences here, and as we were saying, once those are in, it's straight down to a classic shootout, assuming he hasn't got a mistake. Again, still waiting there to start. I don't think that will disturb him though.
No, he's probably enjoyed seeing the erasers come out on multiple sheets. There, and he's off now.
I suppose as you come in from the previous round as sort of the last place to make up the next three, you're always going to be a bit of an underdog. You've got an underdog's chance. You're back this time. Check in on Jan again. You have made progress. But maybe there's a little bit of uncertainty. Meanwhile, Jakob looks like the pencil is out, so I think he's taking the view that we'll try something on the sequences. It'll be pretty forcing one way or the other. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't.
And I can say that in the case of Jan, he's got a full base on that page there. And he's back to square one, maybe one.
Perhaps this is where Ken might steal a march, actually. We saw that he got the top box sequence very quickly, and he can do something similar on the consecutive sequence. He'll be back in the game, no doubt about it. Just have a look at We'll have a look at Jakob here, who looks like he's finishing up. It is in the pencil as opposed to the pen that he started out in. But it looks to be consistent. We'll see what the grade is. He's taken the lead. We'll check in on our Japanese soldiers. Ken's having a look. Very Hideaki not really getting too far just yet. Jakob's got his pen back in hand. We'll see if it's the consecutive sequence that comes back, whether it'll be outside.
And a couple more erasers in action. Another statement there. Yep, Jakob is on to the outside, and that is his selection. Expect him to do well here.
Yeah, looks like Jan's tried a couple of options and it's not going well for him. Still the first puzzle of 4 though, still playable. So we've got the outside here. This is one where I think if you're good, you don't need to do too much in the way of notation. Whiz straight through it. Looks like we've got some of the easy placements. See how long that lasts.
Meanwhile, it looks like not a lot of progress on the other one. He actually, in particular, gave it a good long stare at this one. And it really bodes well for, as you say, 4 puzzles this round. And this is his selection, so the next 2 might be a little trickier for him, including the irregular.
Well, the irregular might come into play if Jan can catch up. We'll be looking to at least make it to that puzzle. It's a good way to go, I suppose.
The consecutive sequence really probably giving most trouble we've seen of any puzzle here in the playoffs. Who can we thank for that design? Yeah.
So the consecutive sequence was put together by Siguan Luao of, I assume that's China, I don't know for sure.
I think Siwan will be getting a nice Christmas gift from you.
So there we go. Looks like this was a particularly tough nut to crack. Maybe the choice was expecting something quite quick and easy. This sequence, not the way it is played out.
Erasers out once again.
Yeah, this time Henry just brushing away the last remnants of previous try. Here the Yankees got some digits there, circles, so again maybe he's just going for, we'll try anything, we'll see if it works. I guess in a playoff situation, you've got to be in it to win it.
And I can say that Jakob is just finishing up the last few squares on the outside.
This, of course, was the first of his two picks. He's shown why. This could be a commanding lead now for Jakob.
So for those of us who have not and will not in this situation, Tom, can you comment? What do you think Jakob's thinking right now? Is he knows he's puzzle and a half ahead of his 2 of his 3 opponents. Does he take anything different into the 3rd puzzle?
I think he's going to be remaining, he'll be confident, he'll be keeping an eye on the others in the room and seeing not a lot of movement, and that might give him some confidence, but that's it. That first consecutive sequence, anything can happen. You might get a bad puzzle, so you can't get too confident too quickly. You just have to take puzzles one at a time.
Of course, as I say that, Jan submit. And obviously an opportunity in the outside to get through a second round.
Although he'll be a full puzzle behind. Jakob now starting the irregular.
Take a closer look at this one.
This one has kind of almost like a 4-way rotational symmetry going on. We've got a nice 3x3 box in the middle, just looking to be filled out.
So where is your eye drawn to?
So, I mean, I think the 4 regions directly surrounding the centre box look like some good place to start. There's only a few digits need to be filled in all of those. I think then you'd be looking for some good exclusion zones. So, for example, you can see in column 4 we've got sorry, row 4, we've got columns 4, 5, and 6. Those are going to be the same thing as row 5, 7, 8, 9 columns. That's going to work all the way around to the forward symmetry. If you can get your head around that. I suppose if you could get your head around that, probably it'd be in the playoffs.
I absolutely just have to take your word for it. Say, just updating that Yen was successful and he's starting in on the outside.
Meanwhile, 2 Japanese soldiers are still there on the consecutive sequence. Not having a good time with their score. I think, as we were expecting, it's likely to be a shootout between Jan and Jakob. Jakob still with the advantage.
I'm interested Ken did something that I did there, which will almost never happen at this point. He circled, he went back to the instructions, which I can say for somebody that's not familiar, obviously not a Ken situation, when things have gone wrong for a while, instructions, always interesting. And what he circled there was the note that all possible sequences inside boxes with at least with a length of at least 3 are marked. Not is that always the case in a consecutive sequence, or is that just for this one in particular?
I tell you what, I have to confess I missed that one. It looks like there's a negative constraint in play, and maybe that's what's in something on the to find out later. Check back in with our leader. Looks like he's coming to the end of the irregular. I think with this third of 4 puzzles out of the way, he'll be feeling pretty good now. 1 more to go, hopefully.
Just a crop key, keeping the active from advance. And again, while we're talking, amateur to professional, go to Kantan and T. What are they doing right now? Are they doing example Sudokus of the type they know are in this round? Are they just taking it easy?
I think that's going to depend on the individual. I think each of those 3 will have their different styles. There'll be a lot of waiting now. There's 3 rounds of these playoffs. They'll know they'll be going last. So they'll be collecting their thoughts, preparing themselves mentally, and awaiting the winner of this 3rd round of the playoffs to come and join them.
All right, on to the final puzzle now of the round is Jakob. So he was successful with that submission. The crop key is all that stands between him and the final.
So here we have a crop key with no given digits. It's often the case with crop key, there's a lot of dots and not so many digits. So I think Jakob will be looking for high concentrations. And it looks like he's gone straight to the right-hand side of the grid there. You can see there the 3 black dots within the box, which are pretty heavily constrained. That'll let you get the 5, 7, and 9 pretty quickly. The 5, 7, and 9 not being part of a block of black crop key dots here.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Ken and Hideaki, it's I think the writing's on the wall for them this particular round. And the consecutive sequence is beaten them. I can relate to that on everything. Puzzle and surprise. We'll see this happen. Phenomenal song.
Well, here at Dark Horse on the skyscrapers. Right, we're back over to Jakob here. This is his last puzzle. Looks like he's got more than half the grid, and at this stage on a croquis, both the dots and the negative constraint come into play. You're just filling out the rows and columns. It's not going to take him very long to finish this. And I think unless there's a terrible error there, he'll be going.
Final numbers now for the act of a phenomenal round. And really nothing to be taken away from the job he did as he submitted there. He was the 4 seed coming in, so it'd be no surprise that he'll be joining the top 3 in the finals shortly. Any thoughts on what you think we'll see in the finals?
Well, before we get to the finals, I think just on this round 4, it looks like the consecutive sequence was the real decider, and great stop there from Jakob to get through. I don't think it was pretty. He had to get his second pencil out to solve it, but he did what he needed to, got the advantage. Just waiting for that to be confirmed.
And yeah, everything looks good there. Now I can see I can say that near the end of that round, Yannon submitted his puzzle, and I think it was being returned to him, but they realized that the round was over.
Well, something seems to be happening with Jakob. We thought he handed in. Seems to be coming back to him, though. Can't quite see the grid. I think where a mistake might be.
I think it's more of being handed back to him as a trophy. Not doing any work. There does seem to be, we'll try one more time to get that room camera up. There does seem to be some excitement in the room right now. That's not the live one. No, the judges, all 3 judges are huddled together at this point. I can say that.
Well, the Japanese have stopped solving. So I'm not quite sure what's going on in the room at the moment.
The 4 competitors are still in that room. Say that the Hideaki is still studying.
So we just. So we briefly touched on this in commentary. So just to recap the rules. Classic Sudoku rules apply. If the two neighbouring cells are connected with a grey line and they contain consecutive digits, it goes on. Sequences inside boxes with length of at least 3 are marked. Additionally, if the sequence has a dot at the end, the dot indicates the lower end of the sequence. Last part, isn't it? I'm not quite sure what happens if there's an error in the puzzle. I don't know if there is an error in the puzzle, but there's certainly some ambiguity in the room.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with the sample.
All right, we have helpfully been handed the rules. It says, in an unlikely event of a wrong puzzle being included in one of the playoff rounds, time for each competitor's pause the moment they solved correctly a puzzle they were solving during the wrong puzzle discovery. When the time limit ends, whichever is earlier, the competitor who chose the wrong puzzle will choose a new one that will replace it from the set of puzzles that were not chosen already. All competitors will continue the time offset specified accordingly. I don't know how that's going to work, bearing in mind we had 3 puzzles after that one. It took quite a while to make that call. So we wait to see what's going to happen. So we're just waiting to see what's going to happen now. Perhaps one of the organisers can let us shed some light on that.
I can say that the view in the room right now is that Yan, Ken, and Hideaki are back seated at their desks. And right now, Ken and Hideaki are speaking with somebody outside the room. Rather than I would say too. What would you do with a little bit of excitement?
Well, excitement is of course, this will be not the scenario that the organisers were hoping for. I think there'll be a little bit of thinking on their feet to work out what the best possible solution is going to be. I don't know whether they'll be able to do this immediately, so I guess we just have to wait a little longer to see what happens.
What do the professionals usually do for filter the time like this, huh?
They go and buy the commentators a bit.
Oh, that is fantastic thought. The room didn't exactly clear out, did it?
It certainly did not.
It's exciting. There's at least one person in this room that actually owes me money.
Who would that be, Dave?
I'm not going to go beyond that. See if they smile.
We count on them to do the honourable thing.
I will say it's not my roommates or the Canadians. It's
Always trust the Canadian.
now, that being said, but again, that being said,
So are they going to be doing it? Because they're that part of that. It's actually not so fair. But yeah, so like I have to take you think that I would say something. Oh, yeah, yes. Right. Yeah, I started to, but then I multiple parts. So yeah, you do have to like adjust for this like executive, yeah, that's not a 6 executive. But yeah, it's so other characters, but yeah, it's so I guess what you push back to is or gala or whatever it's called.
We have the same amount of information.
So we're still waiting to see what's going to happen.
If they know sometimes if other processes are legit, they can just but the other and you have set you just do the yeah, was way and it restarts. Yes, but the other set are the same. That's what we do. I'll just want to go. Yeah. And no, they don't do any of those, or just or I guess the white dress with the black panther. If it's because it's I'm going to serve it back to us. Serve it back to I feel like that should be in the but yeah, I think it should draw for me. Yeah. I would make it as complicated as possible and have the other three do it. And just do the one extra place also add the time trial. The best overall time. And then we can have a system. Yes. Yes. Now we need back all the favorites. Let's play the hits.
So we've got a bit of movement in the room, it looks like. Looks like all four competitors are back seated.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
right there. No, this is right. So Toronto, I think they might have suspended those in like a state. So one would be to or they'll have to release facts. Or like if there is there, it doesn't 24 puzzles. Everything is there. And all the things. And like right now, like it's like I'm going in like 20 minutes, but you know, this shit. Like, all the time code is for the final. Yeah, so just everyone else like yeah, I felt cheated. He's got 3 errors, but he got regular. I mean, like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so yeah. First 5. But I mean, when you look through first 5, I'm getting it. I just like, oh, so
So, if you're just joining us here at the playoffs, we've reached the third of the 4 sets. A little bit of controversy here. We think a broken puzzle has emerged, but we're not quite sure what's going to happen just yet. We have as much information here as the rest of
This is a Sudoku tournament, the first one is questions, okay? You see all the Sudoku on the book, like, no, it's like, I'm going to choose stuff, I'm your son. It's like, it's not a Sudoku tournament. I've gone to some.
yeah, I'm just surprised.
Because he's not trying to compete against Knockout. Paul chose back because he's like, he's bad at math, and I feel so hard for him. So, he's brilliant in math. He should win. And he should have been starting 3 hours ago.
Yes.
For me and everyone in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So that's for
Let's get one person to
yeah, beat a celebrity. Yeah, no, but seriously.
Yeah.
They staggered. So,
Can't call my phone off the hook.
so I have some
No, please. 2012. Bill and that. Open letter 77. Why? I'm sorry, but I didn't get to play. I'm sorry. It wasn't fine. Someone is always the last one out. Someone's gonna.
yeah, so I just go shortly. Sorry, I didn't know. I know.
They can't even throw the room. There's a flag or something. I feel the secrets of this broken all I want is the yellow phone. That's what it is event.
I guess you need to talk to the author. I can't change it. Not live, just before everybody.
Because they used to have only 3 other sets, you're giving them 6. They said mistake is not their mistake. That's the result. Not give the
Well, that earlier announcement of an 8 p.m. gala dinner seems optimistic.
Some people start there.
Are they also? Yeah, I think you have some positive.
So we've got a bit of activity in the room. I think the updated rules are being explained to the competitors. As far as we understand things, we had an error on the first of the four sets, the consecutive sequence. We believe that puzzle will be replaced and all four competitors will solve that puzzle. Now after that, neither Ken nor Hideaki got past the first one. They will complete the remaining three. On the other hand, Jakob did complete all of the three, so his times have been noted and recorded. So this won't quite be a straight shootout, but the aggregate times over the three puzzles in the original version, plus this one new puzzle, will be the determinants of who progresses through to the final. That's how we understand things at present. We believe the organisers are explaining this to the competitors, congregating and coming to a final decision. As I say, that is how we understand things at present. So there's, well, you can see what we're seeing. There's a lot of conversation, we can't hear what's being said. The four competitors are sat down. We do not know what the replacement puzzle is going to be. I think this is making the selection of the remaining puzzles. 15 puzzles in total have been picked across the playoff. There were a total of 24 to pick from. So there are plenty of remaining options for this scenario. We can only sympathise with the competitors. We'll have to try and ignore all this kind of unforeseen circumstances, put it out of their heads, and get ready to solve it. Okay, we've had further updates, so it will now be the case that the first two puzzles are invalidated, so that's the consecutive sequence and the outside. Two new puzzles will be drawn. Excusing them now, we understand.
And that's because Yan had they seen and completed, though not apparently correctly, the second puzzle. So that makes perfect sense. You need to repeat on.
Yeah, we wouldn't want, even though this is not the scenario we wanted to see, we still need to make sure it's or as fair as we can. I will spare a thought to the organisers. I've been the competition organiser myself, and you know, they're going to be feeling a whole mixed bag of emotions. They'll be wondering how they can resolve this fairly. They'll be feeling completely mortified by the mistake was made. But they'll be doing their best. They'll be looking to try and rectify this as best they can. We have to hope that this isn't affecting the too much. We also spare a thought for the other three finalists, Teets, Kota, and Tanzan, who perhaps be aware of what's going on and just waiting for the grand final to take place. They'd have been sucking themselves up as well ahead of this one.
It does look like Yakub's going through the guide there and determining which puzzle or puzzles you'll want to see begin. Of course, with being two now, the added interest of both puzzles, the second seed in this one you've been to choose. As you say, just a tough situation and to the best of your ability.
Yeah, so, we're not quite sure which choice has been made. Out of interest, I think we have the list of possible choices. 3 of the 24 classes. Interestingly, no one chose a classic. There's a consecutive. Maybe they might stay away from it.
I find that one.
There's diagonal, quadruple, squares in squares. Thermometer, and window all up the ranks. So it looks like the contestants are still making this.
Hi everybody. Since you're waiting, I just like to invite you to the Open General Assembly that will take place in this hall today at, let's say, 9 o'clock. You can imagine 5 minutes. You are all invited. It's 9:30. And I will hand the agenda and the financial report to us. So the papers before that. And I'd also like to invite those who are interested in running for the WPF board, looking for the candidates. So if you want to introduce yourself and run for the board, just let me know and you can win during the open GA. See you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. So a bit more information. So we mentioned that 2 of the puzzles are being replaced. That was the first and second consecutive sequence and the outside. The new first 2 puzzles will be the old 3rd and 4th puzzles. So puzzle number 1 is now irregular. And the new second puzzle is the old puzzle number 4, the croquis. Now, Jakub has solved both of those, so he maintains an advantage, whereas the other 3 will be starting. They'll be starting immediately. So, as we were saying, the 3 competitors, Jan, Hideaki, and Ken, will all be starting from a similar time, same time, and they'll be doing the puzzles. Jakub will be sitting out before starting the new 3rd puzzle, squares and squares. The amount of time he'll spend sitting out is the time taken for him to have completed the irregular and the croquis previously. So he'll fit at that time, as he's already solved the puzzles. The other 3 will be solving them effectively from the start. And from there, we get through to the end and we'll have our final grand finalist. That seems to be the situation on the ground. I think the rules being explained to the competitors there.
Alrighty, excited to get back to solve. Absolutely what we want to see. Obviously, there's more conversation about it later, but this really does seem to be the best solution of a tough decision. And as you say, Tom, having been there, there's nobody that feels worse right now than the organ.
But yeah, looks like we're good to go again. And we hope we're going to get through to a satisfactory conclusion. Competitors look ready. Like I say, they'll be putting all this stuff behind them for now. They'll be focused on the task in hand. 4 puzzles separating them from the grand final of the World Sudoku Championships.
Okay.
And I think we're underway. So Yan now has the irregular. I don't remember. I think approximately what Yan is. He did pretty well. I would say about 4 minutes. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of it.
The feed. I think that could be pretty good. Jakob made pretty good progress through this regular, but as we were saying, this is Jan's hit. And certainly a type that served him well in the past. And I'm back to make some progress here. This might make the final 2 puzzles close race between himself and Jakob. So still waiting. I think what must have happened is the original staggered times being respected from the start of the competition to see.
And I believe there was a bit of a gap between when he used his first one, who was qualified from the previous group to get. So it's going to be a bit of a wait still for him to go.
Yeah, Ken will need to play a catch-up game again. Still that he's more than capable of doing it, but there's still a lot of catching up to be done.
Good progress thus far. Yeah, looks to have pretty much the top third of the irregular solved.
As we were mentioning a little while ago now, there's the this leftovers rule which lets you put in kind of the spokes of this windmill quite quickly, and I think he's gotten onto it. Not too long. Not too long before he's standing in. So we didn't quite have the stopwatch timing on Jakob. When he starts, he'll be starting the third puzzle, which will be squares and squares. He's already done the irregular, he's already done the property. The other 3 have not, and they will be catching up.
For our 3 other competitors now underway on the irregular. Fortunately, Yan was a bit of an erase there. Back to nearly the start. So all 3 competitors pretty even. So we'll go in, we'll do our little amateur to pro thing again. As an amateur, I'm fully aware there is no coming back. It's a full erase or nothing. Do you try to do little tweaks and picks to try and get back where you can solve it, or do you just accept that we're going back to square one?
There's sort of a head and a heart in there, and I don't know whether I feel I think you're always looking to see if there's a small adjustment, if you can tweak it, and if you see it, that is great. And I think it's always worth spending a little time seeing if that's possible. But more often than not, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Making a thing start. Oh, it looks like, is that Hideaki there? With a quick submission, he's handed in the irregular. Now that's interesting because if you go back, Jan is still there on the irregular. It was going too fast. Clearly, this has started again. I think this is all going to be to Jakob's advantage, however, because he got through these puzzles cleanly, remember. And so kind of any struggles that the remaining competitors have on the puzzles that he has already completed will just add to his advantage. Now, Hideaki is in the game here. He's on the crop key. Again, we saw Jakob earlier making pretty short work of this. Unfortunately, we can only see a little bit of the grid. We saw Jakob making his progress in the right-hand side of the grid. Looks like that's where Hideaki's attention is as well. He's trying a couple of things, and I think once he gets it, it'll be up.
And I can give an update that Ken has submitted his irregular as well.
There we go. So, what do we know as commentators? We thought the irregular would be to Jan's advantage, but actually he has by far struggled the most with this one.
Yeah. You gave him the commentator's curse there.
Gave him the commentator's curse. Apologies, folks.
So just as a reminder, it will be Kropke, and then everybody's next puzzle will be squares and squares, and we'll finish this round with a classic. Our first one that we've seen, and the only one I believe that we've seen in the Sudoku competition champion.
I think that's correct. I think 5 puzzles scheduled for the final, none of which will be the classics. So, 2 bits of updates here. So Jakob's time over the 2 puzzles has finished, and he's now on to the 3rd puzzle. So as a reminder, he is well in the lead. He's doing the squares and squares. In the meantime, Ken has also made a start on the crop. So Ken and Hideaki are a little bit behind Jakob. Jan is hoping to get rid of this irregular now at this stage. This is going to be killing him.
So the squares and squares, what do we got here? Because there are a couple of Sudokus with similar names, and then completely different meanings. What is squares and squares?
It's clues in the name. We can see some shaded squares in the grid. And within those shaded squares, they sort of follow a killer. There are no repeats. So you can kind of see the ones in the middle of the grid spanning different 3x3 regions. They seem to have different digits. And the crucial thing is that some of those 4 digits has to be a square number. It's squares in squares.
Now, unlike the 3-digit square number, there aren't a lot of options.
No,
what the 2 squares and squares can.
So I guess if you've got 4 different digits to place in a 2x2 region, the minimum they can add up to is 10 and the maximum is 30. In that 10 to 30 range, there are exactly 2 square numbers, 16 and 25.
Very reassuring that I had that correct, and yet wanted nothing whatsoever to do with the puzzle. Yeah, has submitted now the irregular, so he'll be getting a copy, assuming that was submitted correctly.
Meanwhile, whilst we were talking, it looks like Hideaki has dealt with the crocky, and now he is on to squares and squares. So maybe he's making a little time off on Jakob.
Absolutely.
Jakob hasn't done that much in the grid for now. Again, we've seen this previously where the pen has gone down and the pencil has come out.
Love seeing the notation there from Hideaki, the constant reminder to himself. 25.
There we go. Even the Sudoku greats of the world will make good use of the visual prompt. So Ken's still going there with the crocky. Looks like Jan's making a bit of progress. Ken ahead. There we go. It looks like he's to fill in the last few digits. I think he'll be submitting very soon.
We're going to raise here from Jakob.
Yeah, I think it's not been ideal for Jan, and he would not have been planning on using the raising. There we go. We've got a hand in there from Ken. Joining Jakob and Hideaki. Now this is beginning to bunch up again. We saw the pencil. I think he's tried an option, it didn't work out. So on to the other option here for Jakob. There's not a lot of progress in that.
No, obviously that when Ken joins in, yes, he won't be any numbers really behind, but obviously the other two have pretty good think about what they've been looking at. Still certainly the advantage to them, but that made this feel fairly good.
Now we know Hideaki has been around for a while, and perhaps the best of his puzzle types is Kakura. And I think we'll be making use of those Kakura skills there. You can see just up there, he's identifying combinations, permutations, is it 16, is it 25, how's it going to work out? I suppose one key feature here is those corner squares, where if you can work out the digits not in the square, that will give you information as to whether it's likely to be 25 or 16. And I think that seems to be the way to approach this particular puzzle, although the break seems tricky.
Yeah, certainly looking at the two at the top, there's some only small numbers there to support, which should certainly lead you to believe, and I haven't done the math to see if 16 would be even possible. But I think towards no. So that's a lot of information, but 25, unfortunately, not a real easy 4-digit number to get what all the numbers are.
Well, I mean,
I don't believe you do.
we can see in that top left, if that's a 16, then to make the 45, you need a 29. You've got 5 in there already. The remaining 3 cells would be 24.
I didn't say it couldn't.
That seems to be what Jakob's gone with. He's gone with 7, 8, 9. And, again, the pencil's out, so maybe he's just trying to get through this.
You're going to talk to me about how the bottom left, you could still put 25 in there. Go over to use the 1, 2, 4. I can't do this exactly.
So, this might be a sticking point because
all 4 competitors are about to be on the same puzzle.
Yeah, finishing there with the crocky. So This looks like a tricky one, and if someone can find inspiration here, this might be their ticket to the final.
With only a classic to follow, you would think all four members go, you know, they're certainly in, you think, again, yeah, they're better in the classics. I don't think there's that much difference in any of these four competitors in the classic. I think the squares is probably going to be.
I don't know. I mean, it's the time for these puzzles is key. You know, Jan and Jakob might be 30 to 60 seconds. Whether that 30 or 60 seconds can be built, made up over a much harder sort of conceptual puzzle like squares and squares, well, I guess we'll see. There we go. Jan has just started. We have all four competitors on the third puzzle, the squares and squares. It's proving to be challenging.
Well, it's absolutely, as an amateur spectator, you do occasionally want to see them playing it out the way you do. I chose a seat in the front row for this week to give competitors the other seat, my compatriots, not compatriots, the seat they chose. A lot of page flipping, a lot of furious flipping, and it was just intimidating to someone like myself. I'm not saying I take it, but it is a bit more of an equal.
You're saying it's an experience you can.
And
I have to say, actually, there was 1 year, I believe in 2018, I was sat on my desk next to Ken. I think this was at the Puzzle Championships rather than the Sudoku Championships. The thing that struck me the most was the flurry of activity. If he wasn't writing, he was erasing. So the amount of thinking he's been putting into these puzzles indicates that these are difficult. So we'll just cycle through. Pretty actually hard to tell where we are, but there seems to be some numbers in there. Now we looked at Jakob's earlier in the top left where he had 789. That does not seem to be what the Jakob has. Although that seems to be no longer what Jakob has either. So a few different possibilities being tried out here.
difficult to say that I'm not sure where we are exactly from a time standpoint. If we can or will get to the 28-minute limit, the impact that will have, and this squares and squares might push that into play.
So back to Ken here. There's a lot of working out there, different sums, permutations, what's going to work, what's not. I don't think any of our four competitors will be counting Michel Staszczyk, the author of this stuff.
Also, no update on the status of the Christmas present. That may not happen.
That may not. So here we're looking at Jan. Jan was the last of our four to reach the squares and squares. Well, I think he's quickly come to the conclusion that he might need to be trying a few things. I wonder at this stage, actually, having observed the others struggle a bit with this, whilst he was catching up, he was preparing. This is one I might need to whip out the old bifurcation.
Absolutely. You know, and even at the amateur level, I got the impression in a few of the rounds today, when those pages weren't riffling quite as quickly, that I would not be making progress on big number one. It did take me a full day to learn that, but yeah, you do know that sometimes even the best struggle a little bit.
bit more progress now zooming in on Ken. It seems to be, there's a bit of progress all over the grid here. So if the permutations are correct, this might be his effort at taking the lead. We're back to
Jakob, pretty full of race.
He's tried a few different things. He's got to be hoping by now that one of these is the right thing. I suppose we've got to say that he's in a difficult position. He thought he got through the first two puzzles. He thought he'd qualified, and now he's had to come back with some more. So he's probably had to work a bit harder than the others to get himself back into the frame of mind to be solving next to two puzzles.
Yeah, we didn't get that update that Tamak was good enough to give us. On these extra puzzles, Jakob it was Jakob that chose the classic to add in as one of the extra two puzzles, and it was Hideaki who chose the squares and squares.
Well, that's topical. Hideaki has just handed in the squares and squares, and this might be the puzzle that sees him through to the final. It would be dramatic, to say the least. Ken also looking Ken. Yeah. Can you miss it? Ken's there.
It will certainly come down to a race between the two strong Japanese competitors to see who will be moving on.
Right, and so we're going to move on to Hideaki. There's a classic Sudoku here. Now, it's quite a sparsely populated grid. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm just trying to count the digits, given digits here. 20. So 20 is quite sparse. Quite sparsely populated, so that will indicate that there's quite a narrow solving path. Now, the way that I look at this, I think there's going to be quite a few, you're going to be looking number by number and number, hidden places here, rather than naked.
Not a single row, column, or box with more than 3. Yeah, so that's not the one you're going to see in the Monday, Tuesday newspaper.
So we're just checking on other competitors. So it looks like Ken's there on the classic, whereas Jan and Jakob, who were earlier, still struggling on the squares.
Does certainly seem like it's going to be a race now between Ken and Hideaki to finish a classic.
Quite exactly see how Hideaki's getting on, but there's a lot of activity there. Over to Ken now.
I can see 2 or 3 more digits in Hideaki's top half. Having said that, here comes the eraser. So it's it's going to come down to probably the last half dozen digits or so, I would guess. Which is absolutely what you want.
Yeah, so I guess when you have these 17, 18, 19, 20 given puzzles, this is sort of going to form. So you can see here, Ken, he's got a lot of 8s plates, a lot of 5s plates, a lot of 6s. He's sort of going number by number. But now he sort of needs to use the shapes and geometry that the gaps of the cells that haven't been placed to kind of fill out those other numbers. And that's going to be the key to unlock it.
And I think we want to switch to camera 4 here. Things are moving pretty quickly for Hideaki near the end. And he's now just double checking all of the information and submitted.
He submitted.
Irony of ironies, Yakov just submitted the squares as well.
So there they are in the room. So we've got a spare report to these finalists.
Absolutely.
Been through it.
To jabber on about what they've done is a lot easier than the work that they've had to do over the last over an hour. So absolutely, when next you see them, maybe approach carefully, but when you do approach, give them your best. It's a fantastic round of solid.
And it goes without saying, these guys at the top end are just superb solvers. That's the way the playoffs go sometimes. It's luck of the draw, it's one puzzle. What's the one which is going to trip you up? What's going to decide it? You can overcome it. That's going to be why you're sort of the deserving of your place in the final.